stage today to address millions of Americans who are questioning what's going on, how can we progress, how can we still keep fighting, and he gives hope and clarity about our president, about our nation, and everyone needs to hear this message. Mike Pompeo is Secretary of State, and he has been a very, very strong supporter of our president. So I wanted to make this video that he says that there are big changes coming and to not give up. So please, thumbs up this video, comment down below if you want to support me continuing to spread the narrative about our amazing president that the mainstream media does not want people to know. Please consider donating. I have a link down below. It would be very appreciative. As you guys know, many of my videos get demonetized. So without further ado, let's get started. Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State, he demands the voice of America to promote United States as the greatest country in the world. And he came out and he said that, you know, despite or in spite of everything going on right now, we need to still recognize that we still do live in the greatest country in the world, and he also defends our president. So he, as a true patriot, we need to hear his words. President Donald J. Trump is banned from Twitter. He's banned from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or his videos are getting deleted on YouTube. Parler is now taken down from the App Store. It's also offline right now because of Amazon's purge sort of situation. Lynn Wood is banned from Twitter. Sidney Powell's banned from Twitter. General Flynn is banned from Twitter. So this is basically the series that I'm doing on this channel to get all the people basically been banned to still get their voice heard, because let's face it, I don't like that the big tech media is just creating this whole narrative and just silencing the other side. I mean, how is that having a conversation? Just shoving one narrative down people's throats and not allow, you can't even question anything anymore without getting censored, without getting banned. I have to watch my words, and you guys know I talk in code a lot. I can't even really say a president's name, but anyways, I am just super thrilled to be making this video today. Mike Pompeo, he pressed the voice of America to be less critical of the United States, delivering a speech at odds with the news organization's mandate to maintain editorial independence from the government. So like we have said, like we've seen, we have ABC, CNN, USA Today, New York Times, or what is that, New York Times, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. All of the huge mainstream media, very, very, very liberal. Very scarily, what happens at the United States on January 6th, what happened there? Well, Donald Trump's giving an amazing speech, call for people to basically keep on, you know, trucking along with everything on this path that he has. And, you know, hardly any police at Congress while they're counting the Electoral College votes. You have people who are very clearly not Trump supporters, disguised as Trump supporters. You have also very, you know, CEOs who are, one guy was charged as well. You have basically a mix of people, and very, very quickly after this happened, you know, you have the media and basically calling for Trump's impeachment, saying that Trump needs to be impeached because he's incited this violence, and that, you know, the Republicans are crazy, conservatives are crazy. We don't even want to hear conservatives talk anymore. It goes in. It's not really silence of free speech, because the big tech media, they're private companies, so it's not really the Constitution. It's even worse than the Dan Bongino said that tech companies privating conservatives' voice and not allowing that type of suppressing speech is even worse because than the Constitution's, you know, amendment of free speech, because the big tech, they really control what people are hearing, the narrative that people are hearing. You guys tell me, or you guys hear me all the time telling you guys, all the parents watching this, I am so thrilled and so happy that you guys are, you know, allowing your children to have a different voice, or to question the voice of what, you know, don't just give your kids the phone all the time, because they will grow up and all they will hear is the liberal. If your kid has a phone and while their brains are developing, and they're on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, TikTok. They're being fed this very one-sided liberal narrative. They'll grow up to be liberal. Most likely, most children at this time who are on their phones will grow up to be liberal. And that's just because the big apps, their brainwash, I mean, they're really shoving one narrative down people's throats. And it's been like that for a long time, but it's especially very, very, very clear right now because they're literally banning all the leaders who are conservative, and people who haven't been banned are leaving as well. I haven't left like YouTube, for instance, or Twitter, because I feel like we still need to get our voice out. Like Dan Bongino, he said, you know, he's not banned from Twitter, but he's not going to use it anymore. I mean, I would challenge him to still continue using Twitter because they have a lot of users, and still at least, you know, give people the ability to question. Anyways, sorry, I got distracted, but I'm really glad that people like Pompeo are still speaking up. Sidney Powell, Lynn Wood, General Flynn, you know, they're still trying to get their voice out, whether that's through Rumble, through Parler, through, Lynn Wood has his own podcast now. So these independent kind of media companies are really good. So this is what Mike Pompeo had to say today. He said, "It is not fake news for you to broadcast that this is the greatest nation in the history of the world, and the greatest nation this civilization has ever known." I'm also going to share some words that our president recently said after he got banned from Twitter, because I know a lot of people couldn't even find this message. So I'm just combining this with Mike Pompeo. So I'm going to read this message. I'm going to get back to Pompeo's speech because they're both really good. President Trump said about the Twitter ban. He said, "I predicted this would happen. We've been negotiating with various other sites and we'll have a big announcement soon." So Trump says he's going to have a big announcement soon. What is he hinting at? Remember a few days ago, or even maybe a week ago, he said that this is just the beginning, or he said, "Our incredible journey has only just begun." I know I watched that video about maybe 10 times, 20 times, because I thought that was amazing. He said, "Our incredible journey has only just begun." And now he's saying, we have a big announcement soon. While we look at the possibilities of building out our own platform in the near future, Trump is planning to build out his own social media platform, basically. I mean, he has the money. Why not do it? He said, "We will not be silenced." Guys, if you're losing hope, don't lose hope. I mean, Trump is even promising, like, we will not be silenced. You know, we're going to have our own, he has a big announcement coming soon. We've also seen right now there's over 6,000 troops in Washington, D.C., over 10,000 to be deployed in D.C. That's even according to, what was that, CBS? Yeah, according to NBC, at least 10,000 National Guard troops to be deployed in D.C. And currently, 6,200 Guard members in the city of D.C. Trump is potential. I mean, there's rumors that he plans to do the Insurrection Act. Some people said he already has. Has he? Has he not? I mean, Trump hasn't said he has, but at the same time, he's saying we have a big announcement soon. And National Guard says it will increase troops in D.C. to at least 10,000 by Saturday. And according to Air Force Times, the National Guard inauguration, the amount of National Guard in Washington, D.C. will be twice as large as troops, or National Guard deployment will be twice as large. I don't know if it's in D.C. or, you know, around the nation, but twice as large as troop levels in Afghanistan and Iraq combined. So we need to keep that in mind, that these are a lot of people, 10,000. And there's even a huge fence surrounding, it's either the Capitol or the White House. I can't really tell. I think it's the White House, but it could be wrong. Maybe it's Capitol Hill, or surrounding Capitol Hill. Not too familiar with the exact, you know, geography of DC, but, and Trump says, yeah, he basically just says, stay tuned. I mean, he has a whole, I can't even say a lot of it because he's like calling out the left side, which I don't want to get them angry because, again, I'm on YouTube. I know, I have a crazy game to play. So basically, the left side is saying that the troops there, the Defense Department has authorized as many as 15,000 troops to be deployed in Washington, D.C. They say for the inauguration of President-elect Joe Biden. what happened on January 6th in the Capitol. So that's what they're saying. So Mike Pompeo, let's get back to Mike Pompeo. Let's finish off his speech. He's saying, so again, he said, it's not fake news for you to broadcast that this is the greatest nation in the history of the world and the greatest nation this civilization has ever known. He also said, I'm not saying ignore our faults. Indeed, just the opposite. It is to acknowledge them. But this isn't the vice of America, focusing on everything wrong. It's the voice of America. Pompeo's speech had provoked controversy even before he gave it. More broadly, the president and staff members allege that Pompeo's speech violates regulations, but a broadcast speech by the outgoing Secretary of State on topics on which he has been widely covered should be seen for what it is. Censorship, wokeness, political correctness, it all points in one direction. Authoritarianism, cloaked as moral righteousness, Pompeo says. It's similar to what we're seeing at Twitter and Facebook and Apple and on too many university campuses. I actually went to UC Berkeley. I graduated in 2019. And I have to say, I mean, I was actually attending the school when Trump was inaugurated in 2016. And I have to say, it was not a celebration at all. People, I mean, I think it's like ranked number 5 according to like one of the most liberal schools ever. I mean, it seemed like it was like the #1 liberal school, but according to this list, it's number 5. And we after Trump was inaugurated in 2016, guys, our classes were literally like canceled. Like it was optional to go to class in order to like cope for like emotional coping. I was like, people were like, literally, guys, not even joking, the next day after Trump was inaugurated, people were crying in my class. I'm not joking. I had a French history class. This is how absurd it got, guys. This is how crazy. And Mike Pompeo, like, this is based off what Mike Pompeo is saying. It's crazy on university campuses. My French was French literature, actually. French literature. Yeah, my French literature class, taught in French, my professor walks in, speaking in English, and she goes, guys, I wanted to dedicate half of this class to if you have any emotional feelings you want to get out about the tragedy that happened yesterday, we're gonna reserve the first half of the class to talk about that, and then we're gonna resume normal class. And the class was 2 hours long, so I had to sit through an hour and literally people started crying. I'm not joking. People were raising their hands, and this woman started crying because she's like, my mom's what's it called? Immigrant, and I just we have no She was like bawling her eyes out, and that was one woman, or one student, another student, another. It was like 3 people started crying. I got up, I walked out of the classroom. I was like, guys, I just to be honest, I haven't been like a huge I guess conservative by any means for I guess I wasn't really even that, during that time, it wasn't political at all. It was not super happy. I guess I wasn't necessarily super happy, but I also wasn't necessarily I definitely wasn't sad that Trump got inaugurated. And I got up, I walked out of the classroom, my teacher goes, oh, are you going to the protest? And I guess there was a protest happening at the same time for people to say, not my president. And I was like, no, I'm leaving. I'm going home. And she said, why? I'm like, because I came to French class not to hear people cry. And guys, I feel like the main reason why I've been making these videos lately, and I want to make it clear, it's not like I grew up conservative by any means. I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's so true that the media really is fake news. It's just they're really clearing, if anybody thinks after January 6th that the media isn't clearly biased, especially liberals, they think that Trump is inciting this crazy violence and needs to be impeached, and it's it's just absurd. Anyways, I just wanted to say, I feel like this is just the truth. Like, I wouldn't even call this a conservative channel by any means. I would call it like just a truthful channel. And whether that happens to support the president, awesome. But at the same time, I just call it as I see it, and I'm not like trying to please the liberals. Or am I not even trying to please? I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just rambling at this point. But anyways, that's my Pompeo speech. Sorry, this got way too long. Please thumbs up this video, comment down below. And if you want to support, I have a link down below. And yeah, you guys are awesome. I'm praying for each and every one of you. God bless. Stay tuned for more updates. Chat soon. Bye now.